What if I told you that the difference between feeling average and feeling unstoppable in the bedroom could begin long before the lights go out, in the quiet privacy of your own nighttime routine, with something as simple and ancient as oil in your hands and intention in your mind? Most men chase performance in moments of pressure, but real confidence is built in rituals of calm. And tonight I want to show you how a deliberate nighttime oil routine can transform not just your physical response, but your connection, stamina, and masculine presence from the inside out. When we talk about performance, many men immediately think about intensity, technique, or endurance, yet they overlook the foundation of all of it, which is circulation, relaxation, hormonal balance, and mental readiness. The body does not respond well to stress, and modern life keeps most men in a constant state of tension. Tight hips from long hours of sitting, shallow breathing from daily anxiety, poor sleep from endless screen time, all of these quietly reduce blood flow, dull sensitivity, and chip away at confidence. A nighttime oil routine works because it shifts you from performance mode into restoration mode. Warm oil on the skin stimulates the nervous system in a way that tells the body it is safe. Safety allows relaxation. Relaxation improves circulation. Improved circulation enhances responsiveness. This is not about instant magic. It is about creating the internal conditions that allow your body to perform naturally and consistently. The first element of this routine is intention. Before you even touch the oil, you decide that these next 15 to 20 minutes are about you reconnecting with your body. Too many men treat their bodies like machines that should obey on command. Instead, you approach your body with awareness. You dim the lights, put your phone away, and create a quiet environment. This signals to your brain that you are transitioning from stimulation to restoration. The oil itself matters. Natural oils, such as cold-pressed sesame oil, almond oil, or coconut oil, have been used in traditional practices for centuries because they penetrate the skin and support warmth and circulation. When slightly warmed, the oil becomes even more effective, as warmth encourages blood vessels to open and muscles to soften. You pour a small amount into your palms and rub your hands together, generating heat. This simple act already activates nerve endings in your hands, increasing sensory awareness. You begin with your chest and shoulders, areas where men often hold emotional and physical tension. Using slow, firm strokes, you massage across the pectoral muscles and down toward the abdomen. This is not rushed. Slow pressure stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, the branch responsible for relaxation and recovery. As your breathing deepens, your heart rate steadies. This matters because performance is directly tied to blood flow, and blood flow improves when the body is not in fight or flight mode. Moving down to the abdomen, you massage in circular motions. This supports digestion and reduces bloating, both of which influence comfort and confidence. A relaxed abdomen allows deeper diaphragmatic breathing. Deep breathing increases oxygenation, which improves stamina. You are not just applying oil, you are teaching your body how to breathe again. From there, attention shifts to the hips and inner thighs. This is a critical area for men because prolonged sitting shortens hip flexors and restricts pelvic circulation. Using your thumbs and palms, you apply steady pressure along the hip creases and down the inner thighs. Increased circulation here supports the vascular system connected to arousal and firmness. Many men struggle not because of a lack of desire, but because of restricted blood flow and tension. By consistently massaging these areas at night, you gradually retrain the tissues to remain supple and responsive. As warmth spreads, you may notice a subtle sense of vitality building. That vitality is not forced, it is awakened. Another powerful component of the routine is mindful pelvic floor awareness. Without straining, you gently contract and release the muscles you would use to stop urination. Coordinating this with slow breathing strengthens the pelvic floor, which plays a major role in endurance and control. The oil massage prepares the tissues. The breath and muscle engagement builds strength from within. Over time, this combination enhances staying power and sensitivity without creating pressure. The beauty of doing this at night is that testosterone production and tissue repair peak during deep sleep. When you relax your body and reduce cortisol before bed, you improve sleep quality. Better sleep supports hormonal balance. Hormonal balance influences libido, mood, and consistent performance. It becomes a positive cycle. You massage, you relax, you sleep deeply, your body restores, and you wake with stronger morning vitality. Many men underestimate the psychological shift that occurs through this ritual. When you intentionally care for your body, you build trust with yourself. Performance anxiety often comes from fear of failure, but when you know you have been investing in your health nightly, that fear loses its grip. You no longer rely on hope, you rely on preparation. The oil becomes symbolic of self-respect. Instead of associating intimacy with pressure, you begin associating it with grounded confidence. Your touch improves as well. By massaging yourself regularly, you develop greater sensitivity in your hands. You learn pressure, rhythm, and pacing. That awareness translates into how you touch your partner. Intimacy becomes more attuned, more responsive, less mechanical. A man who is connected to his own body reads signals more accurately and adjusts naturally. This creates a feedback loop of mutual pleasure and emotional closeness. Over weeks, you may notice improved firmness, longer endurance, and heightened sensation. But perhaps more importantly, you notice calm. Calm is attractive. Calm is powerful. A relaxed man leads energy instead of reacting to it. The nighttime oil routine is not about vanity or obsession. It is about alignment. When body and mind are aligned, performance becomes an expression of health rather than a test of worth. It is important to approach this practice consistently. Results do not come from one night of effort, but from repetition. Think of it as training your nervous system. Each night you repeat the ritual, you reinforce the message that your body deserves care. You may choose to end the routine with a warm shower to remove excess oil, or simply wipe off gently and allow the remainder to absorb. As you lie down, you take several slow breaths, feeling the residual warmth in your muscles. That warmth is circulation, that softness is relaxation, and that stillness is the foundation of power. Over time, your relationship with intimacy shifts. Instead of chasing performance in the moment, you cultivate it in advance. Instead of fearing inconsistency, you build reliability. The oil is not a miracle substance. You are the source of the change. The oil is simply the medium through which you reconnect, restore, and strengthen. And when a man feels restored, when he feels strong in his own skin, performance stops being something he tries to prove and becomes something he naturally embodies. This is only the beginning of understanding how a simple nighttime ritual can unlock deeper endurance, stronger responsiveness, and a more confident masculine presence. As this practice becomes familiar, you begin to notice something subtle but powerful happening beneath the surface. A shift from doing the routine to embodying it, from mechanically applying oil to truly listening to your body's signals and responding with precision and patience. In this deeper stage, the focus expands beyond simple massage and moves into strategic enhancement of circulation, nerve sensitivity, and hormonal balance through rhythm, temperature, and breath control. One of the most overlooked elements in men's performance is nervous system dominance. When the sympathetic system is overstimulated by stress, competition, and constant digital input, the body struggles to shift into the receptive, responsive state necessary for intimacy. By intentionally slowing your strokes and synchronizing them with long, controlled breathing, you amplify parasympathetic activation. Inhale through the nose for a steady count, allowing the abdomen to rise. Then exhale slowly through the mouth as your hands glide downward along the hips and thighs. This pairing of breath and movement conditions your body to associate touch with calm readiness rather than urgency. Over time, arousal becomes smoother, less rushed, and more sustainable. The choice of oil can also be refined as you understand your body's needs. Sesame oil is deeply warming and grounding, ideal for men who feel cold, fatigued, or mentally scattered. Almond oil is nourishing and slightly lighter, supporting skin elasticity and gentle stimulation. Coconut oil offers cooling properties, useful if you tend toward overheating or inflammation. Some men incorporate a drop of essential oils such as sandalwood or lavender, diluted properly to enhance relaxation and sensory depth. The scent itself becomes part of the conditioning process. When your brain repeatedly associates a particular aroma with relaxation and vitality, simply smelling it can begin to trigger that state automatically. This is how ritual evolves into neurological training. The mind learns the pathway to confidence. As you progress, attention to the lower back becomes essential. The lumbar region houses nerves that influence pelvic function and sensation. Applying warm oil and using firm circular motions along either side of the spine increases local blood flow and reduces stiffness from prolonged sitting. When this region is relaxed, signals between the brain and pelvis travel more efficiently. Many men underestimate how much back tension interferes with responsiveness. You are not merely soothing muscles, you are optimizing communication within your body. From there, the gluteal muscles deserve deliberate pressure. Strong, relaxed glutes support pelvic alignment, which directly affects endurance and control. Slow kneading motions here enhance stability and reduce unconscious clenching that can lead to premature fatigue during intimacy. Another advanced layer involves mindful edging of sensation without stimulation overload. This does not mean rushing toward climax, rather, it means cultivating awareness of subtle arousal waves during your routine and learning to breathe through them without tightening or forcing. When you feel increased warmth or responsiveness, you remain calm, breathe deeply, and allow the sensation to plateau naturally. This trains your nervous system not to spike abruptly. Over time, this translates into greater stamina because your body becomes accustomed to sustained levels of arousal without tipping into rapid release. The key is patience. You are rewiring reflexes gently, not through strain, but through steady exposure and control. Sleep integration becomes even more strategic at this stage. After completing the massage, avoid immediate bright light or stimulating content. Instead, allow your body to cool gradually. The residual oil continues nourishing the skin and underlying tissues as you rest. Deep sleep cycles enhance testosterone production and tissue repair, and when preceded by relaxation, these cycles become more efficient. You may notice stronger morning arousal, a sign of improved vascular health and hormonal rhythm. Rather than dismissing this as random, recognize it as feedback that your nighttime investment is working. Confidence grows not from fantasy, but from evidence. The emotional dimension also deepens. A man who practices this ritual consistently often reports feeling more grounded in daily interactions. There is less irritability, less insecurity, and a stronger sense of presence. Intimacy is not isolated from the rest of life. It reflects your overall state. When you cultivate calm strength at night, it subtly carries into your posture, voice tone, and eye contact. Partners feel this shift. They may not know the routine exists, but they perceive the steadiness it creates. This steadiness fosters trust and anticipation, both of which intensify connection. Performance becomes a shared experience rooted in confidence rather than pressure. If you are in a relationship, there comes a point where you may choose to invite your partner into aspects of the ritual. Not necessarily every night, but occasionally sharing a slow oil massage session can deepen emotional and physical intimacy. When done with communication and mutual comfort, it transforms from a solitary health practice into a bonding experience. Your enhanced touch awareness, breath control, and patience naturally elevate the quality of shared moments. The ritual you built alone becomes a foundation for deeper connection together. Even if kept private, the benefits still radiate outward through improved endurance, responsiveness, and attentiveness. Consistency remains the cornerstone. Missing a night is not failure, but returning to the practice reinforces commitment. Over weeks and months, tissue quality improves, stress resilience strengthens, and psychological assurance solidifies. You stop wondering whether you will perform well because you know your body is conditioned, rested, and supported. That certainty is magnetic. It shifts your internal dialogue from doubt to quiet assurance. And when a man carries quiet assurance into intimacy, the experience becomes less about proving capability and more about expressing vitality. As we move forward, there is still a deeper layer to uncover, one that ties mindset, physical conditioning, and emotional leadership into a unified approach to masculine performance and presence. What ultimately separates a temporary boost from a lasting transformation is integration, the point where this nighttime oil routine stops being an isolated habit and becomes part of your identity as a man who takes ownership of his vitality, his discipline, and his intimate presence. In this final stage, the focus shifts from technique to embodiment. You are no longer simply massaging muscles or encouraging circulation. You are reinforcing a deeper narrative about who you are and how you show up in moments of closeness. Every evening, you choose to invest those quiet minutes in yourself. You send a powerful signal to your subconscious that your performance is not left to chance, not dependent on luck or fleeting stimulation, but supported by preparation, patience, and self-respect. At this level, awareness becomes sharper. You begin to notice small cues in your body throughout the day. You sense when your hips tighten from long sitting and instinctively stretch them. You recognize shallow breathing during stress and correct it before tension builds. The ritual has trained you to listen. That listening skill becomes one of your greatest advantages in intimacy. A man who can read his own body can read his partner's responses more accurately. You become less reactive and more responsive. Instead of rushing to prove yourself, you pace the experience, sustaining connection through steady breath and grounded touch. Your endurance improves not only because of stronger pelvic floor muscles or enhanced blood flow, but because your mind is no longer racing ahead. You stay present. Presence extends pleasure. The hormonal rhythm you have been cultivating through relaxation and deep sleep begins to show its effects consistently. Stable energy in the morning, balanced mood during the day, and reliable responsiveness at night create a sense of predictability that dissolves anxiety. Anxiety thrives in uncertainty. When you trust your body, you reduce the mental chatter that once interfered with arousal. Even if occasional fluctuations occur, you no longer interpret them as failure. You understand the broader picture of health, rest, and adaptation. This mature perspective alone elevates performance because it removes the pressure that often disrupts it. Another profound shift emerges in how you view intimacy itself. Instead of seeing it as a performance arena, you begin to see it as an exchange of energy and emotion. The oil routine has taught you that true power grows in calm environments. You carry that calm into the bedroom. Slow build-up replaces urgency. Controlled breathing replaces shallow gasps. Measured pacing replaces frantic motion. This does not diminish passion. It intensifies it. When arousal rises gradually and steadily, sensations deepen. Your partner feels your steadiness and relaxes in response. Relaxation amplifies mutual pleasure. The connection becomes circular, each person influencing the other in a rhythm of trust and anticipation. The psychological resilience built through this ritual extends beyond intimacy. Confidence rooted in preparation spills into work, communication, and decision-making. You stand straighter because your hips and back are less tense. You speak more deliberately because your breathing is steadier. You maintain eye contact longer because insecurity has less room to operate. These subtle behavioral changes reinforce the internal belief that you are capable and composed. That belief is attractive. It creates a magnetic quality that has little to do with physical technique and everything to do with grounded masculinity. There is also a spiritual dimension for those willing to perceive it. Touching your own body with awareness each night dissolves the disconnect many men carry from years of ignoring stress signals. It becomes a moment of gratitude for strength, for sensation, for the ability to feel and respond. Gratitude softens harsh self-judgment. When you are less critical of yourself, you approach intimacy with openness rather than defensiveness. This openness deepens emotional bonding, which in turn enhances physical fulfillment. Mind and body stop competing and begin cooperating. Over months, the cumulative effect of consistent practice becomes undeniable. Improved tissue elasticity supports stronger and more sustained firmness. Enhanced circulation ensures quicker responsiveness. Strengthened pelvic floor muscles provide better control and prolonged endurance. Balanced stress hormones protect libido from daily pressures. Yet the most transformative outcome may be the quiet certainty you carry. You know you have built a foundation. You know you have invested time in your well-being. That knowledge removes desperation and replaces it with calm assurance. The routine itself may evolve. Some nights it may be shorter, focused primarily on breath and lower back release. Other nights it may be more elaborate, including full body massage and extended stretching. Flexibility keeps the ritual sustainable. The key is continuity of intention. Even 5 mindful minutes are better than none. Consistency maintains the neurological pathways you have carved through repetition. Each session reinforces the connection between relaxation and vitality, between patience and power. In the end, the nighttime oil routine is not about oil at all. It is about reclaiming control over your physical and emotional state. It is about understanding that performance is the byproduct of health, awareness, and discipline. It is about shifting from reactive living to intentional preparation. When you prepare your body with warmth, circulation, breath, and strength, you remove many of the obstacles that once stood between you and confident intimacy. You no longer step into close moments hoping everything works. You step in grounded, calm, and ready. So when the lights dim and the world quiets, you are not scrambling for confidence. You have already built it in the stillness of your own ritual. You have nurtured your circulation, strengthened your control, balanced your nervous system, and cultivated patience. And because of that preparation, performance becomes natural, connection becomes deeper, and masculinity becomes something you embody rather than something you attempt to prove. That is the true power of the nighttime oil routine, a simple, ancient practice transformed into a modern foundation for endurance, vitality, and unwavering presence.